Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Tell me when I'm telling lies. What I'm not lying about, though, is the fact that this is the second take for this review, because I've got to plug in my microphone before starting this. But we're here now, and we're going to talk about a pretty fun debuting show, and we can once again talk about CM Punk. So guys, what is going on? How y'all doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993. And yes, I am here. Well, not live. I almost did this one live. But I feel this one may have some controversial takes. So I just wanted to get my thoughts out there without, getting... I'd rather read the opinions and the feedback after I do the video, rather than during the video me get all, flustered, because this has been something that's been getting under my skin for a while, and especially the past week or so, and I do not want to get in any arguments with anybody, but I'm going to be 100% honest about what I see based off what everything I've seen with the situation, everything else going on. Again, this is not, also yes, front showed off, but yes, I'm wearing my CM Punk shirt with my scarf, because do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. But this is my review of the debuting episode of AEW Collision. It took place this past Saturday, June 17th, 2023, and it took place at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Of course, it was revealed a couple weeks ago by Tony Khan that this show will feature CM Punk, as he, of course, was in the main event match. It was Punk and FTR, or as we got cheers from the crowd going, CM, FTR, CM, FTR, CM, FTR, taking on the Golden Elites, Jay White and Juice Robinson, and the Ring of Honor television champion, Samoa Joe, as he called himself, the king of television. Although he hasn't won many matches yet this year from what I've seen. I think he's now 1-3 this year in AEW matches. That sucks a little, because Samoa Joe definitely should be winning more matches. But of course, he could be in for a good feud. Oh, the teases we got in that main event match was awesome. And again, overall, I'll give my thoughts here. Yes, again, I don't want to be reviewing every single episode of Collision. I don't want to make it like a requirement on the channel right now. Again, I have a ton of stuff. Maybe someday, if it's really growing on me that much, because this was an excellent debuting episode for Collision. If it gets to a point, maybe I'll just do a thing where I review both Dynamite and Collision at the same time. Maybe I will also, if I still want to review WWE, because, it's still going downhill. But if this is how I get a lot of, attention and a lot of views on the channel, as I get closer and closer to my 2,000 subscribers, then maybe that's the way I will do it as well. Who knows? We'll see, though. But again, I'm definitely probably for the next 2 weeks at least not going to be reviewing Collision. But, of course, I will, at least keep up with what's going on. But I can't guarantee I'm going to be doing reviews for this too often. But I at least wanted to do this one to start with, because it, in fact, is the debuting episode. But we'll roll in, talk about it, I will save everything involving CM Punk for last, because I also want to talk about his interview. The article released by ESPN with this interview, where he basically just like addresses all elephants in the room, talks his return, talks his injuries, and he shares his side of the story of what happened with the whole media scrum stuff. So, let's roll in. Let's talk about the show. And again, I'll save, of course, the main event, the opening promo. Well, it'll probably be the main event. Well, first we'll review everything else on Collision. Then the main event. Then we'll do the article, and then we'll talk about the opening promo last. So we could be here a bit. We'll see how it all goes. But let's roll in and talk about Collision. So after we had the opening promo from CM Punk, we had a TNT title match between Wardlow and Luchasaurus. Good match. Again, both men are bigger men, very agile. Again, it doesn't seem like that this is a clear brand split. But obviously, there's going to be some stars, like most of the returning stars, like Punk, Miro, Andrade, El Idolo, maybe a few others, that might be more exclusive to Collision for now, maybe. But we'll still have some people rotating around, which is what the plan seems to be. I still do like the idea, since also Collision is on TNT, that maybe they should just have the TNT Championship be Collision exclusive. Which I think would make sense to have like a noteworthy title like for that show specifically. And the match was good. Towards the end of the match, though, Christian Cage seemingly used some sort of camera equipment, and when the referee wasn't looking, he laid out Wardlow with the camera equipment. And then Luchasaurus took full advantage of it, and Luchasaurus won the TNT Championship. Afterwards, though, Christian Cage took the title himself and had Luchasaurus hold on his shoulders, celebrating. And basically, Christian Cage was celebrating like he won the TNT Championship. When, of course, in reality, it was Luchasaurus who did. He's the one on the website shown as the current TNT Champion. Apparently, though, this is what happened when Edge won the King of the Ring. Christian Cage kind of like took the credit for it. Well, he was just Christian in WWE, of course. So I guess kind of do the same thing here. Okay. I mean, here's the only thing, though. Like I mentioned back for Double or Nothing, I like the idea of having Christian as TNT Champion. If there is going to be like certain exclusive stars to Collision, and again, if you want the TNT Championship to feel more prestige, besides having it be like the main title of Collision, because it really needs it, because again, it's probably one of the weaker titles right now. But Christian Cage would be an excellent veteran to be TNT Champion. Again, the only problem is, though, is once again, it's a hot potato with that TNT title. And Wardlow especially, it's like, they get him going, they back off. They get him going, they back off. And it's just like, you feel bad for the guy. It's like, dang, it's like, he was so hot going in, when he built into his squash match against MJF at Double or Nothing 2022. And then, yes, ever since then, yeah, they gave him the TNT title, but he's kind of been, like, inconsistent, I would say. He's had his good moments. He's had great matches, don't get me wrong, but it's like, he's not as big of a star at this point as we thought he would be. His momentum has gone back and forth. And, of course, these hot potato TNT title reigns haven't quite helped him out much either. But, you know. It was still a good match. It's just, again, this is the booking of the TNT title and Wardlow that just kind of, like, gave it, like, a little bit of a dip, but not that bad of a dip. It was still a great match. Again, both Wardlow and Luchasaurus are pretty agile for their age. Like, either one of them, I want to see a one-on-one match with Keith Lee at some point. I'm pretty sure it will be coming soon. Someday they will fully take the cuffs off Keith Lee. I hope so. I still want to see a dream match. I saw for Keith Lee is him and Claudio. They'd have a hell of a match. But of course, we'll get to that some other day. So that happened, and Christian again celebrated. We have an interview backstage with QT Marshall and Powerhouse Hobbs. I forgot that they were kind of a thing right now. Powerhouse Hobbs is also a guy who had the TNT title that you forgot he had until he dropped it right back to Wardlow. But QT Marshall says that Will Hobbs will enter the Owen Hart tournament. And Hobbs speaks briefly and says it's the same thing and that it's his time to shine. So I believe that he announced his entrance into the Owen Hart tournament, and Ricky Starks did also. Which I thought they were going to be starting that at Double or Nothing. Didn't Toni announce that a few months ago? But I don't know. I don't know if maybe the Owen Hart tournament matches are going to be featured more on Collision, or we'll see. We'll see what they do with all that. But by far the match of the night, my opinion, was the return match for Andrade El Idolo. He took on the House of Black's Buddy Matthews. Not Buddy Murphy, Buddy Matthews. Yes, I think the announcer botched his entrance. I swear she said Buddy Murphy. But of course it is Buddy Matthews in AEW. And, of course, crap, I completely forgot. Oh yeah, it's not as good though as Jim Ross's botch of calling it WWE Dynamite. I still remember I made that one graphic, like make it look like I was reviewing WWE Dynamite with Kenny Omega holding the WWE title, and I can't remember who else I had holding what. Maybe it was Charlotte Flair. I can't remember what it was, but damn, I thought that was funny. But this match, I saw it announced, and I'm like, must see. Okay, first off, this is Andrade's first match back since also last fall, when he also had a torn tricep injury, and he also had an altercation backstage with Sammy Guevara, as far as I can remember. So this is his first match back, and he looked excellent. And Buddy Murphy as well. Again, I'm sorry, Buddy Matthews. It bothers me a little bit that Buddy is kind of like, I like that he's in the House of Black. Even though, again, the House of Black are not really doing much with those trios, tag titles. Like, again, besides that Best of 7 series, there really has not been much of a story to those trios tag titles. Like, they're having these random open house matches, whatnot. But my point is, though, is that I like Buddy Matthews, I catch myself there, in that match. I mean, in that stable. But damn, when I see him put on matches like this, I'm just like, this guy is so incredible. I just don't think back to the days where, like, I wasn't a fan of him at first. When it was him and Wesley Blake in NXT. Just something about that team just didn't really faze me. And when they gave him that cruiserweight tournament opportunity, whenever they had to crown a new cruiserweight champion when Drake Maverick first took over as the general manager of 205 Live, oh my gosh, he caught my eye. I know thanks a lot. Now call him Buddy Murphy. I know Buddy Matthews can be a world champion. Andrade El Idolo, another guy, definitely can be a world champion. I'm surprised they seemingly brought him back as a babyface, though, because after the match, he did go to shake Murphy's hand, but then the House of Black came in, which I thought first maybe they would swerve us. That's the only thing that I was kind of hoping for this episode of Collision, is there'd be some type of surprise that wasn't announced. Heck, I'll be honest, I probably would have given this a slight bit higher of a grade if they would have left CM Punk as a surprise. But I think they announced it and then made that 6-man tag match because they weren't really getting much ticket sales at first. So they had to do that. But I was hoping for something different, but I think they did get a brief cheap shot in on Andrade. But the match still was freaking awesome. And of course, besides the great counters, the great high-flying maneuvers, just the craziness altogether. But the thing that cracked me up the most is, for the first time I can remember, Andrade won when he got Buddy Matthews to submit to the figure 8, and I just cracked up. When was the last time we saw... Well, okay, Buddy has used Rhea Ripley, his real-life girlfriend's submission, that inverted cloverleaf submission recently on a few people also. But yeah, seeing Andrade do that figure 8, because he went to him for the figure 4, which was Ric Flair's submission maneuver, which that's a lot more popular. But then when he bridged into the figure 8, I'm like, oh my gosh. I cracked up. And Charlotte Flair also even tweeted it. I'm pretty sure she can get away with anything she wants to, so I'm pretty sure she won't get in trouble for tweeting that. But I'm sure other people get in trouble for tweeting something like that, though. But I saw that and I cracked up. But just an awesome, awesome match. It could have been a pay-per-view match. It was that good. But I'm glad Andrade's back. Again, I'm hoping to see him put on some more excellent matches. Like, who else did we ever get? Oh, yeah, we got him and Darby because he was in that triple threat match. I'm sure there's other people I would love to see Andrade fight. But I am glad to see him back. Again, interesting to see that they brought him back as a face. But we'll see, of course, where that goes as well. We have that. And then, of course, we had another advertised return. First, it was Toni Nese and Smart Mark Sterling. Nese was getting like the cheap jobber heel heat. And then it just leads to Miro, of course, making his entrance. By the way, I forgot to mention this, and it really stood out to me with Miro's entrance. The stage for Collision is awesome. Again, I was worried at first because when they debuted Rampage in 2021, to me again, it just looked exactly like Dynamite because of how the stage was, and it just felt like like the Dynamite pre-show. Like, again, I still don't really watch Rampage that often, not really that often, but this felt like it was a completely different show. And the stage setting was just awesome. I loved the above camera cuts. Like it just looked like it felt like it was like a bigger atmosphere, big deal feel. And especially the way Miro's entrance was shot, I'm like, damn, yes, he feels like he came out to a big, big pop. And I love his gimmick. I love his character. I love his entrance theme too. It feels like a big, a huge name is coming out when he comes out. Feels like I just get energized when I see him. Of course, yeah, he's been off TV also since the fall, but more so because he just hasn't had he hasn't really compromised creatively with AEW. I do kind of hold that on him because I think there was a pitch for him to do a feud with Hangman Adam Page. I think I don't know why he wouldn't want to work with Hangman unless there's something going on. Just like, this guy apparently had a problem with last year also. But that's kind of a little on Miro there, but it was still great to see him back. He looked great. He took care of Toni Nese pretty quickly. He wins, of course, with the game over submission, and Miro's back. And hopefully he will do a lot of great things on Collision. We had a tag match with the Outcasts, Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. Still no Saraya. I'm starting to get a little concerned. She hasn't been around much lately. I don't know what she's up to. I don't know if maybe her boyfriend Ronnie's on tour or something. She's supporting him or what she's up to. But I just hope she's okay. But we haven't seen her for a bit. But there's no word yet on what's going on. But the two of them, they took on the upcomers Willow Nightingale and Chicago's own Skye Blue. They've been given a lot of a spotlight to Skye Blue lately. I mean, yes, somewhat to Willow Nightingale, but Skye Blue feels like they're trying to have her stand out and basically try to tell us that, hey, this is somebody you got to watch for. I got that feeling with Skye Blue. She just signed a deal with AEW. She's been getting a lot of opportunities. She even had a women's title match this past week. I think there was a spot in the match where, again, they had Skye Blue's mother ringside. And I think on Dynamite, the Outcasts had sprayed her with their green spray. But then I guess this week, she got her mom slapping Ruby Soho, I think it was, or whatnot. But it eventually did lead to them pinning Ruby Soho to get the victory. So, of course, a nice win for Skye Blue in her hometown. Of course, with Willow Nightingale also, who has one of the New Japan's titles on her, the one that Mercedes Moné was supposed to win, and apparently she was supposed to be at Forbidden Door, but her recent injury, of course, held her off, unfortunately. Maybe end of the year we could see Mercedes make an AEW appearance. We'll have to wait and see. But we had a babyfaces win, a nice little victory there for Skye Blue in her hometown, and awesome. That's when, again, we had Ricky Starks then cut a promo where he's declaring himself for the Owen Hart tournament. Then we had a promo for, I guess, on Dynamite this coming week. We're going to have Mark Briscoe take on Jeff Jarrett in a concession stand brawl. Jarrett said they put that match on the map, and he says, Mark, I play the long game, and the last outlaw never loses the long game. I'm kicking your ass. So we'll see how that goes. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Jeff Jarrett, but we'll see. Then we had a segment with The Acclaimed and Toni Schiavone. Max Caster raps saying how tomorrow is a holiday and everyone needs to make sure to wish Daddy Ass a happy Father's Day. And of course, there was this fancy scissoring outfit that Billy Gunn was wearing. Schiavone told Gunn that he looks marvelous, decked out in a pink scissors outfit. And Anthony Bowens made sure to say that they'll be appearing on Dynamite and on Collision. Party on Wednesday and party on the weekend. They also wanted to make history tonight with the first scissor on Collision. And so they did, and even Toni Schiavone got involved. Nice. And then the main event was Samoa Joe, Jay White, and Juice Robinson, two members of the Golden Elite, versus CMFTR. That was a hot chant for sure. And it was a lively match. Crowd was hot. Punk looked good in his return match. Get him and FTR, excellent chemistry. Of course, my favorite parts of the match was definitely when Punk got in there against Joe. Again, you can tell these two are really good friends in real life. I know he even kind of stuck up for Punk on Twitter this past week recently, and basically told guys, hey, calm down. It's not all him, basically, in this whole situation. Even though, once again, we've learned this is a business full of grown-ass men. So, I will, which we'll get to that in a second. But, excellent match. Again, the stuff with Punk and Joe was awesome. There was a spot in the match where, I think Joe put Punk in the corner and, just did a vicious chop. And then, again, give me, if we are going to be doing a feud with CM Punk and Samoa Joe, give them both a microphone. The both of them with that microphone in the hand, they are two of the most powerful men on that microphone. And Samoa Joe talking the trash he did on Punk in this match, and it's just like, give me the promo war. Give me the promo war. I cannot wait for it. But some excellent match. There was a part of the match also where I thought that the heels were going to sneak away with the victory. Because Samoa Joe had a very nice coquina clutch on Punk. It looked like he was about to get Punk to pass out. Now, I know that FTR it looked like they had a lot of battling to do outside the ring with the Golden Elite, but they eventually got in to break it up, and it eventually led to CMFTR defeating Samoa Joe and the Golden Elite when Punk hit the GTS. I think they took Juice and hit a Shatter Machine on Juice, and then Punk followed up with the GTS, and that was the victory, and that was the main event of the show. Very hot match to start to wrap up the debut episode. The great main event. Crowd was hot for it again, especially the CMFTR chants were awesome to hear. But of course, we still got a little bit more to talk about. So, let's address the elephant in the room. CM Punk. Again, this was Punk's first appearance since he went off at the All Out 2022 media scrum. We call it, of course, Brawl Out. He went off on the EVPs. He went off on Hangman Adam Page. Colt Cabana, of course, as well. Because that's the big thing that this has all been over, is freaking Colt Cabana. And apparently people thinking that it was CM Punk who caused Colt Cabana to be taken off TV. Well, again, reminder. Since Punk went on his leave of absence, we saw him one time on Dynamite when he took on Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World title. And from what I hear, he hasn't really been featured on Ring of Honor television. So once again, is CM Punk doing Ring of Honor right now? No. When CM Punk wasn't around, how much more TV time did Colt Cabana actually get? One match. One match. So once again, let me just state this before I start talking. Who's the real person you should be blaming for Colt Cabana not getting TV time? If you're that big of a Colt Cabana fan. And that, of course, is the guy who you got to continue to just go back to, Tony Khan. I'm sorry, but you got to go back to Tony. It's not Punk's fault. Tony knows that Punk is a draw. And he's got to go with his best, his best choices for making a quality product. And if you think that's CM Punk and not Colt Cabana, that's on Tony Khan. That's not on CM Punk. But let's get to the article. And of course, then I'll get my thoughts. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm more so going to read just what Punk said. So in this article, Punk started off by saying, I know pro wrestling is absolutely the most bizarre form of entertainment on earth, but to me, I treat it like a business. And I treat it like television that is. So, y'all haven't seen me since I won the belt. I'm coming back. Tune to find out exactly what I have to say. I'm picking up right where I left off. Tell me when I'm telling lies. He didn't say that. Of course, then he first addressed his injury. Again, he when he first won the world title back at Double or Nothing in 2022, a week or so later, he suffered a foot injury when he dived into the crowd during his entrance when he teamed up with FTR. And then when he came back, he then tore his tricep completely off the bone during his main event match with Jon Moxley at All Out. So, yeah, definitely the injury-prone bug kind of is weighing in on him a little. Even me, I'm hoping he doesn't get hurt again. But, obviously, that does take into account of his frustration and what led him to react how he did at the media scrum. But Punk says, I think in wrestling, we always kind of joke how we always get hurt doing the dumb stuff. Fall off a 15-foot ladder through a table and you're fine. And you're running 6 miles the next day and you're in the gym. And then it's just always the dumbest little things that you've done thousands of times and it injures you. Which is true. That's happened to many people. Most people have gotten injured off stuff they do like how many times? How many, routine moves? Seth Rollins tore his the triple whammy, the ACL, MCL, and meniscus tear on doing a simple sunset flip he would always do. I mean, yes, he did it with big 300-pound cane, but, still, it was a routine move. I'm sure he's done it to other big men before. So, it happens. Anyways, he mentioned how it's just the mental aspect of this recovery, how it's not been easily. Luckily, he's gotten a really good support team from his wife, AJ Lee, or April Mendez, his dog Larry, and great friends and a super great rehab team that he was able to get himself back this quickly, even though it doesn't feel as it feels like it was 12 years ago since he was last in the ring. Of course, then he then addresses the elephant in the room, the media scrum. All this happened. So Punk mentions that he feels that before that, he thought things were solid with him, Kenny, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Adam Page. He of course would approach Kenny to ensure nothing Punk was doing in his matches would be infringing on what spots Omega had planned, and he even checked on Hangman Adam Page when he was sick. When he got sick with, I don't want to say it just in case, but the virus. But then in spring of 2022, that's when he felt that things started to divide. On May 25th, Punk and Page had a promo segment in the ring of Dynamite, and we've seen this promo many times. It was built to their title match at Double or Nothing. They had things, arranged backstage of what they would say. But then, when they got to the ring, Page strayed away from what they had agreed on. And Hangman said, "You talk a big game about workers, right? Well, you shown the exact opposite since you got here. I love this place. I care about this place. This is my home. And this Sunday at Double or Nothing, I will not be defending this title against you. For the first time in my life, I'll be defending AEW against you," which was a bit confusing for some people. And of course, that led to Punk, months later, when he first got the title back, going into business for himself and issuing an open challenge to Hangman Adam Page that caught everyone completely off guard. Because Punk was not happy about this. Punk, though, was supposed to be, of course, both of them were supposed to be baby faces in this match. And he confronted Hangman about it backstage after the promo. And Hangman told him he said what he said because he flat out said that he believes, and many others believe, that Punk had Colt Cabana fired from the company, or tried to. And then we're not getting into the whole story about Punk and Cabana, we don't know the story, but Punk said he had told Hangman that was not the case. And that Colt still indeed had a contract with the company. But then, of course, things continued to escalate backstage. Let me see here. Here, this and that. And then Punk, of course, told ESPN he had no relationship with Cabana. He has no relationship with Cabana. And he never asked Tony Khan to take Cabana's job away, or anybody else's. But others in the company believed that he did do that. And Page was even confident enough to bring it up unexpectedly on television. Which Khan and Page were unavailable to comment for this article. And Omega and the Young Bucks declined to comment with their agent, Barry Blue, as well. Page then comments during the segment, a shoot. It means it was not planned, but infuriated Punk. So much so that he considered not going through with the Double or Nothing match out of concern that Page might actually intentionally try to hurt him. But he still went through and showed for the match at Double or Nothing 2022. And there was stuff that happened, like he apparently chopped Punk in the mouth one time. And Punk was like, "Okay, was that on purpose? You chipped my tooth." And should I give him a receipt? Which he did eventually when he called him out on Dynamite unexpectedly. On the August 18th episode of Dynamite. And then, of course, the media scrum came. And he said that he said that basically... first off, he said he regrets about what transpired, and he apologized to Tony Khan about it, and said since then, him and Khan's relationship has been great. The first thing he said to Tony when he sat down with him was, "Man, I'm really sorry I put you in that position. I apologize for the scrum." Which is all you need to do. But he goes on to explain his side of the story. And again, none of this to me is Punk, sounding like a complainer. He's just telling his side of the story about how he felt at that moment. He's more so just telling it as a narrator. He's not getting all emotionally invested into this. But he said, when you watch that scrum, you were looking at a very frustrated guy who had told people that's not the first time he heard all that. It's not the first time lawyers were told all that. And he was just looking for something to be done, and nothing was getting done. So he felt he had to do it himself. But he did not approach it in the right manner. He was pissed. He knew that he had just gotten hurt. He was hurt and disappointed, and it was very easy for him to say he regret that, and he handled it the wrong way 100%. So again, CM Punk, yes, I get it. He's got a big ego. I get it. He comes across as an asshole a lot. But as I've said for months now, probably for at least, I feel like I've been talking about this since Cody Rhodes returned back to WWE at WrestleMania 38. We are seeing a very few people like CM Punk who still has that drive to tell the story that, hey, I believe I'm the best. There's a lot of people, particularly of course in WWE, that don't have that mojo to them. And again, it feels like they're just there for a paycheck. Somebody like CM Punk, who, knows how to draw an audience, who knows how to be liked, knows how to get heat. He is somebody that, yes, AEW is not the same without him. Any company is not the same without CM Punk. And yes, I get it, he can come across as difficult at times. But he's a reasonable guy. He's a reasonable guy who's not out there. Yes, he goes off, but he's not out there to start shit up. He is there to, basically, I take that as, again, yes, he was frustrated. Something had to be done about it. And once again, why didn't Tony Khan just finally tell, Hangman, hey, that's not the case at all. Cut this out. Same with the EVPs. Punk is not the reason why Colt's not getting on TV. Who is screaming for Colt Cabana to get on TV right now? Or for a while? Nobody. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure he has his fan base. I'm pretty sure at some point he was a great. But again, when he was... oh, God, something else. When he was on TV, was he really doing what CM Punk could do and drawing in the audience? I don't think he was. And I'm sorry again. The person who decided to, put CM Punk in this spot was Tony Khan. Because he knew CM Punk is a freaking draw. So again, yes, Punk didn't handle this properly. All parties involved in this scrum, have something to be guilty about. Yes, the whole thing as far as, we'll get into that in a second, with lawyers and whatnot getting involved, has been a little completely unnecessary. But again, this is stuff that always happens in the business. Grown men fight. And again, Punk was frustrated. Nothing else was getting done. So although, yes, he didn't handle it in the right manner, I don't blame him for getting all pissed off about this. I'd be sick of people accuse me of the same shit too if that kept happening over and over and over and over and over again. I would be. But anyways, after Punk left the news conference, there was a physical altercation backstage involving Punk, Ace Steel, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks, and no one has discussed exactly what transplanted. Kenny Omega also said on an episode of Renee Paquette's The Sessions that we can't say anything legally because of the lawyers. Because AEW got a third-party investigation involved. That, again, apparently has been settled, but it's also something that neither happened. Punk said he doesn't like saying no comment, but his reaction is we are trying to move past what happened that night. He doesn't think what happened was a big deal. Yes, love the black mark, but it was not as big of a deal as people made it seem like. This has happened in the last 10 months in other places too. In hockey, in basketball, in baseball. Just about every sport. It happens. And basically his thoughts about it now was, well, shit happens. And he's trying to be a grown man and move on. Now, apparently though, Punk said something also about how right now, because of legal reasons, that they can't work together yet at this time. So I'm guessing stuff with CMFTR and the Elite won't be happening for All In. And I guess maybe they'll have Punk do something at All Out. But that was the gist of it. Again, you read this, and again, to me personally, it does not sound like CM Punk is like trying to, which also apparently this interview was very heavily monitored. So basically Punk had to be aware, like, hey, you can't be screwing around in this. And again, like I said, I read this, and people are saying that he was accusing Hangman Page of being a bad guy. No, he was not saying Hangman Page is a horrible person. He was telling us a story about what happened in the moment and what he was thinking. That's all he was doing. He was just telling a story. What's wrong with telling your side of the story? Why are we giving Hangman Page crap for, yes, I guess keep saying this. I do believe the Elite were more at fault for this because, again, the person they should have been complaining to about Colt Cabana not getting TV time was Tony Khan. They should not have been putting all this on Punk. Yes, they have a history, but Punk is not the reason why Colt Cabana is not a big star in AEW. I'm sorry. Has Colt Cabana done enough? Has Colt Cabana really made you want to turn on the television? Not really. CM Punk has. CM Punk is a reason, again, why I will try, when I have the time, to watch some more AEW Collision. But again, he's a draw. Colt Cabana's on TV, I'm like, okay. But I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to see Colt Cabana. Again, CM Punk is not completely innocent in this. But I also don't feel like he is as guilty, as toxic, as he'll make it seem like he is. Phil is a reasonable guy who, knows how to work business. He's a reasonable guy who, yes, snapped at the wrong time. But again, I kind of get why he snapped. Was it right for him to do it then? No. But I get it. I absolutely get it. And I get the Elite and Hangman. Yes, they're sticking up for their friend. But tell me when I'm telling lies. The person they should have been going to was Tony Khan. And I'm sorry, this whole situation just continued to kind of make Tony Khan look like he doesn't have a backbone. Because why isn't he restoring, why does it still seem like Tony Khan is trying to sweep some of this under the rug? And act like he shouldn't be held responsible for some of this. He could have prevented this. He could have told them, hey guys, enough. I mean, if he's the one who got the lawyers, it's like, they didn't really have to get lawyers. But, anyways, that was basically the gist of the article. Now let's talk about Punk's opening promo. And how he reacted. And, if, of course, this promo meant something. So Punk came out. Of course, it was kind of like how it was when he made his surprising return at Rampage in 2021. The crowd was ringing loud CM Punk chants. So you knew you had to start off the show with Punk. And Punk's music hits. Everybody gives a huge pop. I think we even saw one of the guys who they showed reacting when Punk returned in 2021. But he came out. He just kind of like when he came out at Rampage when he returned, it was kind of like an emotional, like, let's take this all in. This time Punk came out, he's like, okay, I'm here. It's time for business though. And he comes out to the ring with a red bag and shoes hanging around his neck. And he gets to the ring and he says, I am tired of being nice. I've been gone for too long with an injury, but now I'm back. And as long as I'm here, this is the professional wrestling business with grown-ups. Basically saying, cool your jets there, haters. And it's never been a popularity contest. Because if it was, he wouldn't be here. Because admitted, he's different. He's not a popular guy. So tonight he wants to talk about the future. But I guess first he must talk about the past. And I'm like, uh-oh. He wouldn't have believed he could sell out a bunch of different arenas when he was a kid. Going back to saying he's tired of being nice, he also said several times in this promo, tell me when I'm telling lies. He puts over the fans, saying he rode the backs of smart, passionate wrestling fans, like everyone here. And for that, he loves it. He loves them. He loves them because they love him. And you love me because I never compromised. He's been unapologetic his entire career. He is who he is. He couldn't have done all this without all of us. But he knows some people hate him for the same reason that we all love him. And he understands that the sheer magnitude of him makes people uncomfortable. He calls himself the truth. And the truth is painful. And then he gets to probably my favorite line of the promo. He tells fans to boo him, cheer him, love him, hate him, but they all do it because they know he's right. I forgot who it was, but a celebrity friend of his apparently gave him a new nickname. And that nickname, and I'll probably be referring to him when I talk about him in any future videos, but that nickname is One Bill Phil. Because he's the genuine article in a business filled with counterfeit bucks. Oh! And again, read that article. Well, first, let me get back to that article for a second. It was said in there that basically they can't do business with each other yet. Like the Elite and CM Punk. But apparently though, Tony Khan approved this promo. And Nick Jackson, let me find his Twitter. Oh crap, where was it now? Where is it? Come on. I swore there was a response. There was a response in his description. I swore there was, but where is it? But anyways, they did respond back. And my thing is, again, oh wait, here it is. If it were 2018, we'd already have a counterfeit Bucks shirt available on PWT. Kill it, y'all. So that tells me that although they're saying that they can't be doing business together now, they probably can. They're trying to make us to believe that they can't. So that way, once this feud with CMFTR and the Elite begins, it's going to blow up. it's going to take the Bloodline storyline in WWE and just say, beat this bitch. But anyways, Punk wasn't done with, of course, the one Bill Phil. He then says, the king is back. But why would I change? He'll always speak truth to power. He'll always be himself, and he'll never compromise. And there are people who think they are owed an apology. Grown older men and wiser in his years, sometimes it's better to be the bigger man. Then he says, if anyone in there feels like they are owed an apology, then fine. I am sorry that you're softer than the wrestlers you like. And of course, that got a zinger, and he once again says, tell me when I'm telling lies. The last time he was here, he held what was in the red bag in his hands. And that's because he earned it. It belongs to him until someone can pin him or submit him for it. And the shoes around the neck, some say they want him to hang him up. But there's no one in the company who can fill, no pun intended, these boots. So he'll keep going until that's the case. Mic drop, and away he went. CM Punk is back. He cut a hell of a promo. And like I said, I keep saying, Tony Khan approved what Punk was saying. Yes, Tony Khan again kind of showed he has a soft... He doesn't have as much of a backbone. But, again, he let Punk say all this. But the rumors are still saying that right now, CM Punk and the Elite can't really work together. But I feel like that's not completely true. Welcome back, CM Punk. You're a good man. I'm glad to see you back. That, though, is going to do it. I was here for a while, over 50 minutes. But that is my review of the first ever episode of AEW Collision. So, again, I will hopefully maybe review other episodes of Collision coming up. Definitely not the next 2 weekends, though. But we'll see. More will come at some point. But that's my thoughts, guys, on Collision. What are your guys' thoughts on this week's episode, the debuting episode of AEW Collision? I gave the show an A-. Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at the Club of the Man 93. Also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night. And don't forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. Tell me when I'm telling lies.